Let me tell you something that a lot of people don't want to hear. Everyone loves talking about success. Everyone loves the idea of winning, the lifestyle, the freedom, the recognition. But very few people are willing to face the painful truth behind it. The truth is, success is slow. It is uncomfortable. It demands patience in a world that wants everything instantly. We live in a time where people scroll through social media and see someone else's highlight reel and think success happened overnight. But what you don't see are the years of struggle, the sleepless nights, the doubts, and the moments when quitting felt easier than continuing. Here's the real truth: you're going to fail. Not once, not twice, but many times. And that's not a problem. Failure is data. Failure is feedback. Every mistake you make teaches you something that success never will. But most people can't handle it. They try something for a few months, maybe a year, and when the results don't come fast enough, they quit. They blame the market, they blame other people, they blame luck. Instead of blaming, you need to learn. Another painful truth is that nobody owes you success. The world doesn't care how talented you think you are. The only thing that matters is the value you bring and the work you put in every single day. You also need to understand yourself. Self-awareness is one of the most powerful skills you can develop. Know what you're good at, know where you struggle, and most importantly, be honest with yourself. When you understand who you are, you can start building something real. And let's talk about patience. This is where almost everyone loses. Real success might take 5 years, 10 years, even longer. But if you truly love what you're doing, that time doesn't feel like a burden. It becomes part of the journey. Stop chasing shortcuts. Stop looking for the quick win. Instead, focus on building something meaningful, improving every day, and staying consistent even when nobody is watching. Because the painful truth about becoming successful is this: it's not glamorous, it's not fast, and it's definitely not easy. But if you are willing to embrace the struggle, stay patient, and keep moving forward no matter how many times you fall, success eventually has no choice but to find you. Most people completely underestimate how long success actually takes. We live in a world that constantly pushes the idea of instant results. You open your phone, scroll for a few minutes, and you see people celebrating achievements, showing new cars, new businesses, big wins, and massive growth. What you almost never see are the years that came before those moments. The long periods of confusion, mistakes, and quiet work that nobody paid attention to. That hidden time is where real success is built. The uncomfortable truth is that meaningful progress takes time. Sometimes a lot more time than you expect. You might work for years before anyone even notices what you are doing. That doesn't mean you are failing. It simply means you are in the part of the process that most people refuse to go through. The slow part. The part where discipline matters more than excitement. Many people start with big energy. They feel motivated in the beginning. They have ideas, plans, and dreams. But when the results don't show up in a few months, frustration begins to grow. They start questioning themselves. They start comparing their progress with others. Eventually, many of them stop completely because they feel like nothing is happening. What they don't realize is that success is often happening quietly. Skills are developing. Experience is building. Confidence is growing slowly. These small improvements compound over time, but they require patience. Without patience, people quit right before things start to change. Real growth is not a straight line. Some days feel productive and exciting, while other days feel slow and uncertain. That emotional roller coaster is part of the journey. The people who eventually win are usually the ones who simply stay in the game longer than everyone else. They accept that progress is slow. They stop chasing instant validation and instead focus on steady improvement. Day after day, month after month, year after year, they continue building, learning, adjusting, and pushing forward, even when results remain invisible to everyone around them. Hard work and patience are often talked about, but very few people truly understand what they require. Talent gets a lot of attention because it looks impressive. When someone is naturally good at something, it's easy for others to admire that ability and assume that talent is the main reason behind success. But talent alone rarely carries someone all the way. In many cases, talent without discipline actually becomes a weakness. Hard work is what transforms potential into real results. It is the daily effort that happens even when there is no applause, no recognition, and no guarantee of success. It's waking up and doing the work when motivation is low. It's continuing to learn, improve, and practice long after the excitement of starting something new has faded. Most people enjoy the idea of success, but they struggle with the routine that success demands. Patience is the other side of this equation, and it might be even more difficult than hard work. Working hard for a few weeks or months is not the real challenge. The real challenge is staying committed for years without immediate rewards. Patience requires emotional strength. It forces you to stay calm while your progress feels slow and uncertain. Many talented people give up because they expect their ability to create fast results. When things take longer than expected, frustration grows quickly. They begin to believe that something is wrong or that the opportunity is gone. Meanwhile, someone with less talent but stronger discipline continues moving forward, improving step by step. Over time, consistency beats natural ability. The person who keeps showing up, keeps learning, and keeps adjusting will almost always outperform the person who relies only on talent. Hard work builds skills, and patience allows those skills to compound. Together, they create progress that might look small in the beginning, but becomes powerful over long periods of time. That combination of effort and patience slowly builds experience, resilience, and understanding, shaping a mindset that becomes stronger with every challenge and every lesson learned along the way. Failure and criticism are unavoidable parts of any meaningful journey toward success. No matter how skilled, determined, or passionate someone is, mistakes will happen. Plans will go wrong. Ideas will not always work the way they were imagined. Yet many people are deeply afraid of failure, and that fear often stops them before they even begin. They want guarantees before they take action, but real growth rarely comes with guarantees. Failure is often misunderstood. People see it as proof that they are not good enough or that their efforts were wasted. In reality, failure is one of the most powerful forms of learning. Every attempt that does not succeed carries information. It shows what didn't work, what needs improvement, and where adjustments are necessary. Without these experiences, progress becomes shallow and fragile. Criticism can be just as difficult to handle. When you start building something or putting your work into the world, opinions will follow. Some people will doubt you. Some will question your abilities. Others may criticize your ideas or your approach. This can feel discouraging, especially in the early stages when confidence is still developing. But criticism also reveals something important. The moment people start reacting to your work, it means you are visible. It means you are taking action instead of waiting. Learning how to separate useful feedback from empty negativity becomes an essential skill. Constructive criticism can highlight weaknesses that need attention, while ignoring unnecessary noise protects your focus and energy. The people who grow the most are the ones who stop taking failure personally. They begin to treat it as a normal step in the process of improvement. Instead of avoiding mistakes, they study them. Instead of hiding from criticism, they listen carefully and decide what is worth learning from. Over time, this mindset transforms setbacks into valuable experience. Each failure adds another lesson. Each criticism strengthens awareness, and each challenge builds a deeper understanding of what it truly takes to keep moving forward. One of the most common reasons people never reach meaningful success is simple: they quit too early. In the beginning, almost everyone feels excited about their goals. The vision is clear, the motivation is high, and the energy feels unstoppable. People start new projects, businesses, creative ideas, or personal goals with a strong belief that results will come quickly. But after some time passes, reality begins to feel very different from the original expectation. Progress is usually slower than imagined. Effort does not always produce immediate rewards. Weeks turn into months, and sometimes months turn into years before noticeable breakthroughs appear. During this stage, doubt quietly begins to grow. People start asking themselves if the effort is worth it. They look around and see others moving forward, and comparison makes the journey feel even heavier. This is where most people make a critical mistake. Instead of continuing to push forward, they stop. They assume the lack of quick results means the path is wrong or the goal is unrealistic. What they fail to realize is that this difficult stage is exactly where real progress is being built. The early phase of any meaningful pursuit often feels invisible. Skills are still forming, understanding is still developing, and experience is slowly accumulating. Quitting during this stage means walking away from the very progress that was beginning to take shape. Many people never reach their potential because they leave the process too soon. They underestimate how close they might have been to a breakthrough moment. The individuals who eventually achieve their goals are rarely the ones who started with the most advantages. Instead, they are often the ones who stayed committed long enough to see the results of their persistence. They continue working through slow periods, uncertainty, and frustration while others step away over time. That decision to remain consistent creates momentum that slowly separates those who stayed patient from those who stopped when the journey became uncomfortable and uncertain. Self-awareness is one of the most underrated foundations of real success. Many people focus only on external strategies, learning new skills, building businesses, following trends, and chasing opportunities. While those things are important, they become much more powerful when a person truly understands themselves. Without self-awareness, it becomes easy to waste years moving in directions that don't actually match your strengths or values. Understanding yourself means recognizing both your abilities and your limitations. Everyone has natural strengths, areas where learning feels faster and progress feels more natural. At the same time, everyone also has weaknesses that can slow them down. Being honest about both sides requires humility, but it also creates clarity. When people clearly see where they perform best, they can focus their energy on areas where their potential is strongest. A lack of self-awareness often leads to constant comparison. People look at what others are doing and assume they should follow the same path. They try to copy someone else's strategy, career, or style without considering whether it fits their own personality or skills. This creates frustration because success rarely comes from imitation alone. What works for one person may not work for another. Self-awareness also helps people make better decisions. When you understand what motivates you, what drains your energy, and what type of work excites you, it becomes easier to choose opportunities that align with your long-term growth. This alignment creates consistency because the work feels meaningful rather than forced. Developing this level of understanding takes time and reflection. It often comes through experience, mistakes, and honest evaluation of past choices. Instead of ignoring weaknesses or pretending they do not exist, self-aware individuals acknowledge them and look for ways to improve or adapt. Over time, this awareness builds confidence because decisions are no longer based on pressure or comparison, but on a deeper understanding of personal strengths, values, and direction. Discipline and consistency are often less exciting than motivation, but they are far more powerful in the long run. Motivation feels great in the beginning. It creates a burst of energy that pushes people to start new goals, launch new projects, or commit to big changes. In those early moments, everything feels possible because the excitement is strong and the vision of success is clear. The challenge is that motivation does not last forever. It rises and falls depending on emotions, circumstances, and daily experiences. Some days people feel inspired and ready to work for hours, while other days even simple tasks feel difficult. If progress depends only on motivation, then progress will always be unstable. Discipline works differently. Discipline is the ability to continue working even when motivation is low. It is the decision to follow through on commitments regardless of mood or temporary discomfort. This is where real growth begins to take shape because consistent action slowly builds skills, experience, and confidence. Consistency may look simple, but it requires mental strength. Repeating the same effort day after day without immediate rewards can feel frustrating. The progress may seem small or even invisible in the beginning. However, small actions repeated over long periods create powerful results. What looks insignificant today can become meaningful progress months or years later. Many people underestimate the impact of steady effort. They search for dramatic breakthroughs or sudden opportunities, believing that one big moment will change everything. In reality, most success stories are built on thousands of small actions that were repeated consistently over time. Each day of disciplined work adds another layer of improvement. Knowledge grows deeper, skills become sharper, and understanding becomes clearer. The person who stays consistent gradually develops an advantage that cannot be easily matched by someone who works only when they feel motivated. Over time, this steady rhythm of discipline creates momentum that continues building strength, experience, and progress even during periods when excitement fades and challenges become more demanding. Success is not a glamorous journey filled with constant wins and recognition. It is a long, demanding process that tests patience, resilience, and character. The truth is that real success asks for more than dreams and motivation. It asks for time, effort, discipline, and the courage to continue when progress feels slow. Many people begin with excitement, but very few are prepared for the reality that follows. The road is often filled with setbacks, criticism, long periods of uncertainty, and moments where quitting seems like the easiest option. Yet these difficult moments are not signs that the journey is wrong. They are signs that growth is taking place. Every failure carries a lesson, every criticism offers perspective, and every challenge builds strength. The individuals who eventually succeed are not necessarily the most talented or the most fortunate. More often, they are the ones who stayed patient while others rushed, who kept working while others doubted, and who remained consistent when motivation disappeared. Understanding yourself, accepting the slow pace of progress, and committing to disciplined action are the foundations that transform ambition into real achievement. When someone learns to embrace the process instead of chasing quick results, the journey becomes more meaningful and sustainable. Success is rarely about one big moment or one perfect opportunity. It is built through thousands of small decisions made every day, choosing to learn, choosing to improve, choosing to continue despite discomfort. Over time, those choices create momentum that quietly separates those who persist from those who stop. The painful truth about becoming successful is that it requires patience, humility, resilience, and relentless consistency. But for those who are willing to embrace that reality and keep moving forward, the rewards become far greater than the struggle that once seemed impossible to endure.